So, Martin, I have a weird question for you.
Satsu, is this one of these hyper-specific ones that always end in some kind of hijinks and podcast-related stuff?
Well, not exactly, but let's say, hypothetically, I was messing around with some pipes under the sink, and one thing led to another, and now the studio is overrun with talking mushrooms and turtles who are hell-bent on world domination. What would you do? Again, hypothetically.
Oh, I think you should probably get them on the podcast.
Get them on the podcast.
Say slow, grab a microphone. Welcome to Mario Month.
Hello everybody and welcome to the third episode of Mario Month. My name's Satsunami and joining me today is plumber extraordinaire Martin MacAlistair. Martin, welcome back.
Do you know what? We've done so many episodes now and I've still not said it's a me, a Martin. I was debating doing it there, but I think I'm just not going to do it.
Out of pettiness?
Out of pettiness now because I feel like it's the obvious. Oh yeah, I'm good. It's good to be here, man. How are things?
I honestly thought you were just going to break out your Brooklyn accent for a second.
Hey, I'm recording here.
Hey, it's me! Martin MacAlistair. I don't know why I went semi-Hulk Hogan.
I was going to say it. That was good.
Let me tell you something, plumbers. No, I'm fine. I'm not going to lie. After that intro, yeah, I'm doing great. The sun is not shining. There's storms coming through the UK. Otherwise, handy dandy. So I thought, you know what? We need a holiday. We need somewhere where we can escape. And this is actually a sub-series that has been going on for the longest time. And it's not really a sub-series that I have really drawn attention to. That, of course, being the living in the X world. So this all kicked off when our mutual friend and fellow co-host Adam and I talked about what it would be like to live in the Pokemon universe, which to this day is not only one of our most popular episodes, but it's one of the weirdest and out there episodes ever. But of course, it inspired me to do other episodes of a very similar ilk. So Andrew and I talked about living in the Legend of Zelda universe. Wisteria Moth and I talked about living in the Sonic universe. Robotic Battle Toaster and I got the short end of the straw when we had to talk about living in the Warhammer 40k universe. Honestly, those episodes have been so good, but I'm actually surprised that you and I haven't done an episode like this before.
That's because it's going to kill the run of good ones. This is time to bring it way back down.
Yeah, implying the last couple haven't brought the tone down. Yeah, see if worst comes to the worst, just start singing Peaches and it'll all blow over. So anyway, Peaches, no, I'm kidding. We haven't gone down yet. Before we go on and talk about what it would be like to live in this particular universe, and as well, I've just realised that the last one I did of this was for Dragon Ball Month with Andrew, which was, a very unique episode. What is your understanding of the Mario universe? Would you say there are consistent factors in it, or does this episode fill you with as much trepidation as I have right now to talk about it?
Yeah, this was immediately going to be my starting point, was like, what are we defining here? Because we've got the mainline games, right? But then even, is it Super Mario 2 or 3 that's a theatre show?
Yeah.
The whole joke is it's like on a stage.
Yeah, I think it's 3, you're right.
We've got, obviously, Bowser and Mario are bit enemies, but also they go play golf together. Is Paper Mario the same universe? There's a lot to go on here. I am curious how we're going to define this. I hope you've got something because I have nothing for this. The Mario universe is extremely confusing and as far as I can tell, completely unrelated. So good luck. What we doing today? How are we defining this?
So for reference for anyone who hasn't heard any of these particular types of episodes before, usually we frame this as my co-host at the time, anyway, until they run away, and myself. We end up going into a weird and wonderful, maybe not so wonderful world of either gaming or general pop culture, as it were, and we are living as two normal people. We've not really got many superpowers, but hopefully we're not going to be killed off right away because that would be a very short episode. And yeah, we're just going to be diving into what it would be like to live in the world of Mario. And as you said, we have to take in several factors into account here, where are we going to be talking about particular games, or are we going to be talking about the film universe? So for the sake of argument, let's more or less stick to the games. We can still reference the films and things. Let's pretend we're from Brooklyn. The biggest easy guy I think we've ever pulled off there, pretended to be from Brooklyn. But yeah, in terms of the games, we're going to be talking about what it would be like to live there, and we're going to be trying to be a lot more creative with it. For any Mario fans out there,
Apologies.
I know, exactly. First of all, apologies. But second of all, this is just a light-hearted jab and everything at the world of Mario and any other topics that come up. We're going to try and veer away a little bit from being like, oh, they eat mushrooms, you know, because we want to be creative, we want to have fun, but we don't want to be like, oh, where does Sonic store his rings? Or, oh, Pokemon, that's just magical cockfighting, you know. We don't want to be like that. We want to try and have a bit of fun. So that is how we're going to go into it. So, Martin, have you packed your bags for this trip, by the way?
I have. They're all sitting here. I'm ready to board the Odyssey.
Implying that you have enough power mints to board the Odyssey.
Ow.
It's like the Titanic. We are like hanging off the Odyssey. Mario, we love you. It's like, did you hear something, Cappy? I hear nothing. Sorry, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, let's grab onto the Odyssey and hope that whatever interdimensional travel it does, it takes us with us.
And we will be right back, as always, after these messages.
Welcome to Satsunami, a variety podcast that discusses topics from gaming and films to anime and general interests.
Previously on Chatsunami, we've analysed what makes a good horror game, conducted a retrospective on Pierce Brosnan's run as James Bond, and listened to us take deep dives into both the Sonic and Halo franchises.
Also, if you're an anime fan, then don't forget to check us out on our sub-series, Chatsunani, where we dive into the world of anime. So far, we've reviewed things like Death Note, Princess Mononoke, and the hit Beyblade series.
If that sounds like your cup of tea, then you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and all good podcast apps.
As always, stay safe.
Stay awesome, and most importantly,
Stay hydrated.
They rule the streets. They take what they want.
Hand it over, street meats, before we make you dead meat.
And you'll have to deal with them if you want to make it through the night. If Ashley wants to survive, she'll need to fight on their turf. She'll have to fight dirty.
Stop struggling.
And she'll have to pick them off one by one if she hopes to make it through the night. Make It Through the Night, the savage novel of revenge and violence on the streets by Amy Koto. Available now from Amazon.com. Find more by author Amy Koto by visiting tvfanatic.blog or on Twitter at TV_fanatic_girl. Make It Through the Night by Amy Koto. Her night from hell has only just begun.
Whew, that was a very long and surprisingly dangerous journey to the Mushroom
Mamma
Kingdom.
mia.
Yeah, but we have indeed reached the world of Mario. The sun is shining, the fungus is trying to kill us. Let's talk about living conditions. See if you were to come to the Mushroom Kingdom, and let's say money is no object. Let's say you decided just to punch a brick for several hours. Because let's face it, the economy in this world is broken.
There's coins all over the place, man. This is madness.
Do you think the currency devalues? I can't believe I'm starting off with the economics, but do you think the value of the coin is just completely devalued? Because do you remember in Mario Odyssey, and I can't believe I'm referencing this, but how whenever you go to another world, they've got their own currencies, whereas you can get the coins anywhere. So is the regular coin less valuable?
I think it would have to be, wouldn't it? Yeah, if you're just finding them anywhere. Or there's a limited supply of the country's or the world's own coins.
I mean, true. Like, can you imagine if that was a job, though, where it's like, oh, we need to print off more money, and it's like they just get a toad to punch a brick and be like, okay, this is your job. You're the inflation toad. Go, go, go.
Print more money. Print more money.
Make it rain! Yeah, let's say we beat a brick, okay? We just punch a brick. Hopefully one without a face, because I don't think I could do that. Let's say we do it. We've got all our coins, hopefully for the reasonable price of a 2-bedroom flat in the Mushroom Kingdom. Here's a question for you. Where would you like to live in the Mario universe? Because let's face it, although I said, we've arrived in the Mushroom Kingdom, would you want to live in the Mushroom Kingdom, or is there another place you would like to go?
I assume the Mushroom Kingdom is going to have sky-high property value.
Oh, yeah.
There's not much in the way of housing there.
It's like London, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it's specifically just a castle. Like, I don't know where the toads live, right?
You're right.
There's like 5 guard towers in Odyssey, and that's about it.
Do they sleep? You're right.
So I don't want to find out where the toads sleep. So I'm going to suggest we have a quick jaunt and go to the Fira del Plaza, whatever it's called. The place
Delfino Island, yeah.
Let's go there. The Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, is that not just this world's equivalent of, and I can't believe I'm thinking the exact same thing, but is that not just the equivalent of Mario Venice?
Yeah, but there's property there. There's more houses than there is the Mushroom Kingdom. Or, of course, we go live in New Donk City, but I don't know what the price of rent is. That seems like an expensive place as well.
I'm going to be honest, see, after the first electric millipede attack, I think I would be well out of there. I'll just be like, nah.
Insurance doesn't cover active giant electric millipede.
I'm just thinking, and this is quite topical for when we are recording this, because recently we had Storm Eowyn come through, and where we were living in particular, we got the red weather warning, where the government basically sent out a heart-stopping alarm to be like, stay in your homes, it's dangerous, and rightfully so. Do you think New Donk City does the same thing? It's like, Bowser, get in your homes, no time.
I don't have an answer to that. I can only assume so, because the city does seem pretty empty when the centipede thing attacks, so...
And tanks.
Tanks. There's just tanks driving about.
Killer
Giant letters that
bugs.
say Mario. Yep, killer bugs. There's a lot going on. I think that might be the safest place to live, but I'm not in love with it.
Yeah.
That one street, by the way, see if you come out the back entrance to the flats, there's bins and there's a moped there, and if you get on the moped, you get chased by T-Rex. Like, just you just have to look out for that stuff, man. It just happens in the city.
That honestly makes me feel so old. Being a house owner, right, and not wanting to miss bin day, because you know...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be like a couple of weeks until the council comes
And
back.
who knows if
Oh my
Bowser
God.
attacks during the bin? Like, if it's Green Bin Day and Bowser attacks, and then it's like, do the bins not get picked up for 3 more weeks? Or like, what are we doing here?
Just like one hand, we're ripping the moped, on the other we've got our bin bag, and we're like, I will be damned if I miss bin day. You're just zooming across. T-Rex be damned.
T-Rex be damned, the flow's falling away randomly. There's huge gaps in the city flow. But you know, I don't want to wait another 3 weeks for bin day, man.
No, not at all. I'll be damned.
Where would you like to live, seeing as we're here? What are you thinking?
Honestly, Delfino Plaza seems to be the optimal choice here, even though, well, okay, what I will say is, other than the residents there, that kind of, they all walk around with the grass skirts and everything, and the hats, and do you think they like tourists? You know, it's like when you go to Venice or you go to certain touristy places, and again, it's no shade to them, because obviously tourism can be a pro and a con, but do you think you kind of just look at people and go, oh God, not another tourist coming to stay here indefinitely? I mean, it would get quite boring after a while, I have to say. I mean, then again, you've got Shadow Mario popping up being like, oh haha, I'm Shadow Mario. And it's like the Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog situation, where it's like, oh look, it's Mario. I recognise him from having no feature.
I don't know if I could deal with that happening to me as well. Shadow Martin or Shadow Satsu. Can you imagine like the impact that causes on your daily life?
I think what the worst thing would be is if it was Shadow Satsu and they started a really controversial podcast. So it's like, you know, the Joe Rogan, only instead it's like Satsu hates Delfino Plaza or something like that.
I'm sitting here with Kamek. He's got a lot of good points.
You know, you don't want that heat on you, though. You genuinely don't want that heat on you. So, not literal heat. I mean, being Scottish, you know, we were both burned to a crisp.
That's true as well. We do have to think about a minute 24/7 sunshine.
Also, speaking of that, and again, it's very similar to the other games where world traversal would be a pain in the backside, because obviously you can go manually, like we saw in Odyssey and whatnot, and even in the film, they go from one place to the other. But, and the big but here, is that they can also travel through paintings and things. And one of the ways to get to another resort in the Delfino Plaza is by staring into the sun. Imagine telling your child, okay, little Billy, we're going to the market. Look into the sun. Let it take you. You know, you'd be called a psychopath for that.
As well, I just want to look back to the thought of travelling everywhere by painting. It's like, there's no doorbell in these things. So if you've got one of these in your house, someone's coming in. Can't pretend to not be in because they've just walked into your living room. Is there a walk pipe in your house?
Do you know what that reminds me of? You know that episode of The Simpsons where Homer becomes friends with Flanders?
Yes.
And he climbs through the window? That's that one
That exact thing going on.
just climbing the painting. Hey guys, what are we doing today? Oh, that would be horrific. There's no sense of, and again, this is a thing that they have in all Nintendo games, that there's no sense of boundaries or personal space. You can jump on people and, you know, just break into their houses, and there's no legal system, which is weird because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think Super Mario Sunshine,
Yeah, it starts with an arrest.
that's the closest we get to law enforcement in these games. I mean, the rest of them, it's, you know, you fighting Bowser and his minions, and even then, I can't believe I'm saying this, but at the very beginning of Super Mario Galaxy, it's like Saving Private Ryan with mushrooms, where he comes down in his big floating ship with the cannons. So Toad's like, protect the princess! It's like, go, go, go! You're like, oh my god, this is a hellscape. So I think they have houses there, but again, all very much on the outskirts. I don't think I would like to live in the Mushroom Kingdom purely because I don't want to live in a place that is DEFCON 1 all the time. Can you imagine that being like, oh, don't worry, I'm built differently. When I go to the Mushroom Kingdom, Bowser's not going to blow it up. And then, you know, it gets blown up.
How tall is everything in the Mushroom Kingdom? I've always kind of assumed that Mario is 4 foot. Am I way off? Is this kind of what you think as well? So I put Princess Peach at like 5'5". Mario's at like 4 foot. Or do we just have no concept of this and Mario's actually 20 foot tall? Where are we going with this? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think if we're looking at realistic proportions, I think that we would probably be maybe slightly taller than Peach, but nobody brings it up. So
I just wonder if it's like a King and I situation.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
In that movie, she's not allowed to have her head higher than his, so she has to crouch in the same room. So I just wondered if we go to Mushroom Kingdom, we just gonna like, you're not allowed to be in the same room as Peach.
So it's like you put your shoes on your knees and just walk.
Yeah.
I think no one would bring it up because, I mean, look at New Donk City where Mario goes in Odyssey, and it's like nobody brings the fact up that he's just this stocky, built like a Duplo figure in comparison, and everybody's just like, don't mention it, don't mention it, don't mention it. And again, it's so weird because you've got so many things that obviously we would take from our own world, like as I brought up to you when we were talking about Odyssey, the fact that they've got laptops and computers. And do you know what the most depressing thing about this world is? It's canon that there's 9 to 5 jobs. There is literally a city of salary men and women. That is quite possibly one of the scariest places, I think I would say.
That's just because rent's so high, though.
What, so they're constantly working? What I love is, even in Odyssey, when you take part in the festival with Mayor Pauline and everything, and she changes out of her business suit into this elegant red dress and everything that sparkles, she's got the big hat. Everyone else is still in their grey business suits. And it's like, wow, the 1%'s living at large here.
There's literally 100 people in New Donk City.
True.
I just wonder, what's like the working from home policy? Am I allowed to work in different kingdoms? And then, like, what's the commute like? They kind of don't explain this in Odyssey, but how long does a walk pipe take? I assume it's instantaneous.
Yeah.
Is it though? What's my commute to work? Like, do I have to go down a walk pipe every day? You know, there's a lot of logistics I'm not quite sure on.
Because what I'm wondering is, and I know they briefly address it in the film, but I'm wondering if it's like, you know, the transporter situation in Star Trek, where it's like you go in and it breaks your atoms down, and then it reassembles you on the other end. I hope not. I'm going to be
so
honest.
that was more like a Futurama, straight down the pipe kind of thing.
Yeah, just boom, boom, boom. The thing is as well, and this is going to sound so weird to say, but you would struggle to get a plumber in this universe. See if you clog the toilet, by the way, you are screwed, because the only plumbers that you know of in the kingdom, they're away saving the princess. So, who are you going to call?
To be fair, the only thing people eat in Mario is giant apples that Yoshi eats. Is there any other food?
Well, there is different fruits, especially in Mario Sunshine. Remember?
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm actually trying to think.
I don't eat anything that isn't fruit and veg.
Yeah.
But like, you're going to struggle to fill out all your stuff that you don't eat.
I know, I mean, it just gets boring after a while, because then you'd be looking at the mushrooms mushrooms going,
Do you think Goombas are meat or mushroom?
What a loaded question. I would. Oh, that's a good. Well, what about toads? I mean, are they meat or mushroom? That is the question here. The questions we are asking each other in this episode.
You know, I don't eat anything of meat, so I'm not going to be eating anything that has a face.
I think that's the rule, to be honest. I don't think anyone's clambering to eat a Koopa.
Well, I don't know. Welcome to Earth, man. So that's
No,
my
true.
thing. So, like, at what point do you...
Where do
what
you
is
draw the
first
line?
situation? Yeah. Where's the line? There's two types of fish in the Mario games, right? This is so weird that I don't know why. This is a weird cut here, but there's two types of fish in Mario, typically. You get cheeps that are these weird whack only exist in Mario.
Mhm.
But then every sort of sea place in Mario also has normal fish from
Yeah.
Mario World in it. Are they different? Would you eat one, not the other?
Again, it's going to the Pokemon and Sonic logic, like Sonic especially, where they live in a world where everything's anthropomorphized,
Yep.
but then every so often they'll come across an animal that isn't evolved, like a giant alligator or, as you say, just normal fish, normal birds, that kind of thing. And you think, what's the difference here? Kind of thing. And I suppose it's the same here, where it's like, do they have sentience? Because, I mean, if you can take it over in Odyssey and things, then maybe? Can we also talk about the fact that interstellar travel exists?
No, interstellar multiversal instantaneous travel exists.
NASA, who dat? Bowser NASA is prevalent, clearly, and it's not until Galaxy where he... And again, I haven't really played much of Galaxy, but I know he gets a hand from Rosalina and her lumens and everything, and they saved the day. But yeah, space travel exists. You know, there's all the different planets and all the wacky gimmicks and whatnot. That's a given, but it's also quite a scary given, to be honest. Because you're like, well, where the hell's Bowser going? But what I will say is recreational activities would be phenomenal. But it would also be terrifying because I think it would probably be insert any dictator here turning up for a game of Crazy Golf. You just want to have a game of Crazy Golf and then of course Bowser appears, or infamous criminals like Wario, Waluigi turns up to Wimbledon. You know?
You mentioned the 1%, but I feel like if you know Princess Peach and you're in her friend group, like you get a lot of opportunities that, you know, the average New Donk City 9-to-5er doesn't get. I've never seen a New Donk City 9-to-5er win the soccer championship for Mario. I've never seen him win the go-karting Grand Prix, which seems to drive down every city, every street, every other day. I also feel quite uncomfortable with the excessive use of force that Mario has available to him in terms of power-ups. So, like, the blue shell, and I know they kind of referred this in the movie, but the blue shell creates a gigantic explosion. People can turn into bullet bills. Virtually every place that you go to has these monsters that are trying to actively attack you. It's a difficult thing to get into these sports, I think.
I mean, there's literally a monster that is just a bomb. There was a crown on his head.
Put some respect on King Babom's name, though.
I mean, King Babom, yeah. Shout out to my boy there. Can you imagine us hill walking? I'm like, oh, Martin, you know, I'm feeling a bit self-conscious about my weight, blah, blah, blah. You're like, you know what? Let's go on a hill walk. We'll get your exercise up, blah, blah, blah. We make it up to the top of this hill, Super Mario 64 style.
Yeah.
And then King Babom's there. You would run so fast.
Oh, yeah, you'd be done for. I'm sorry, mate. I'm leaving you behind.
It's like a mice and men moment. Tell me about King Babom, Martin. You just push me in. It's like, oh.
I'm hitting the triple jump and getting out of there, man.
Oh, no, that would be horrific.
Crouching into a little roll and just rolling down it.
I'm just thinking of you doing that in real life. Bye, Satsu. Yeah, hill walking's out because you don't know. I mean, as well, you could end up in a haunted mansion and get stuck in a painting. That's not ideal. Although, to be fair, do you think the Hoover market in Mario is thriving? Because you know how, I know it's modified and whatnot, but do you think because people have heard that story about Luigi being in the haunted mansion and whatnot and being able to fight off ghosts with a vacuum cleaner, do you think somebody in the Mushroom Kingdom spun that and been like, oh yeah, get your vacuum cleaners here, they suck up booze and everything?
I wonder though, how many stories are you hearing every week about the adventures that Mario and Luigi are on?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like, alright, here's another thing that these guys have been up to. Oh, here's another time that they saved the world. These two guys are doing it all the time, man. They need some time off. They're just constantly just bang, 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 bang. Like you said, you know, 1 week they're saving stuff for Hoovers. There's a massive kidnapping percentage in this Mario universe. Bang, 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 constantly. Oh, we saved this, well, we've done this, we've done this. It's like, yeah, I think you're right. I think there would be a week where you're like, oh, up, I'm really going to buy a Hoover. But the next week, I really want to buy a jetpack nozzle. And the next week, I really want to buy a hat that takes over people's brains. It's just like a constant update. It's like when they sell you a new phone, it's that. But whatever Super Mario has probably been up to this week.
Yeah, that is horrifying. See the idea that cappies can just...
Yeah, I knew we were going to bring onto this eventually.
Yeah, like I have to bring it up here. That actually terrifies me. It's like an irrational fear of a hat taking over. Well, not the hat in general, but you know what I mean by that. Just the fact that, yeah, you could lose all autonomy just because you wore the wrong hat. And again, why didn't Bowser think of that? Is Bowser dumb?
Yes.
Yeah, clearly. Because there's a lot of horrific things in this world. Because, again, it's something we brought up in the Odyssey episodes, and you think, oh, it's just, it's Goombas and Koopas and all of that. No, there's dragons in this universe. Dragons, there's black holes, there's aristocratic squids that shoot fire at you, or water.
At a beach resort, no less.
Yeah, at a beach resort. There's that horrible squid thing. Do you remember that in Sunshine?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't get by that for the longest time, but it's a pain in the backside because it like splits up. So that's the thing. It's like I don't want to say kill, but you destroy one bit of it, but then the rest of it kind of splits off. Oh, it was horrible. So, you've got that as well. You've got deadly theme parks and whatnot. You've got vultures as well that steal your hat, which, I mean, for us is more of an inconvenience, but I just don't like the fact that vultures swoop down and steal your headwear. Yeah. Get a job, you vulture. But yeah, you've got all these realistic threats. I mean, the fact that dragons exist in this world, you could be having like a cup of tea and chatting away and then boom, dragon.
You better hope Mario's around because no one else is going to deal with it either.
Here's the question for you though. It's something that Wisteria Moth and I were talking about when we did the Living in the Sonic world, where we describe Sonic as the Mothman of that world. Where if you see him, he's either going to be, oh, my hero, my saviour, or, oh, sweet Jesus, we're about to get attacked. Do you think that Mario holds the same weight, that you're sitting there enjoying your Yoshi cocktail or whatever, and then 2 seconds later, bam.
I assume he's got that Batman thing where if you're, I don't know, maybe you shortchanged someone in the shop or you cross the street without looking and all of a sudden Mario appears next to you, like, you're done for. You are a targeted enemy by him. I think he's got that Batman-esque thing.
It's a me, Mario.
But he's also got that thing where he solves trouble, but he does also bring it with him. The only reason that Udonk City got attacked by Bowser was because Mario prevented him from doing other stuff, you know what I mean? So there's all this stuff that Mario causes a lot of the issues that he solves. So I feel like whenever he turns up in your neighborhood, you're like, oh man, just keep passing through, brother. I don't need you to be attacked now by Bowser or by some intergalactic space fiend. Just please don't stay here.
Because, I mean, house insurance would be an absolute nightmare in this universe. Do you think AXA Cooper would have to be drafted into law to be like, yeah, I got a green shell through my house. Oh, sorry, sir, it's only red shells that you're covered for. Green shells, it could happen to anyone.
You can imagine the insurance price of your house, the closer you get to the Mario Kart circuits, just going up and up and up and up.
Just, oh no. Because I think the closer you get to the Mushroom Kingdom and its non-existent houses, a literal housing shortage. But yeah, the closer you get to the kingdom, I think it would just be unlivable. Because again, Bowser's only goal is, unless we're talking about the RPG games, but in terms of the mainline games, Peach is his object of desire. He wants to kidnap her and everything, which would be an utter nightmare if you were just a bystander. Again, you go there and you're like, oh, I want to make friends with a toad, and then all of a sudden you're getting bombarded by bullet bills. You're like, dude, what's your problem? I mean, it's like, that Rick and Morty joke where it's like, what is my purpose? Yeah, it's like to the bullet bills. You're going to be shot out of a cannon and you're going to explode on a wall that's indestructible. Oh my god. They have a very short lifespan. I don't like the idea that everything has a face, because where do you stop with that? The clouds have a face.
Oh, yeah, that's a scary thought.
Blocks have a face. That's going to sound like the weirdest reference ever that I'm probably going to make in an episode. But the Telltale Heart, where it's like, imagine you're building a house in the Mushroom Kingdom, but you run out of bricks. So you end up using one of the yellow bricks, and it's just this face staring at you the whole time. You couldn't even
hang a painting over it, hope for the best.
Yeah, but what if something pops out of
one thing I do want to know is Lakitu.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
What's his game? Is he part of your insurance package? If I'm looking over the edge of a nice garden in the Mushroom Kingdom and I have to slip over the edge and fall forever, would he eventually grab me? Or am I just going to keep falling? Do I have this as an insurance policy? These are the details you need to iron out fast. You know, and also Lakitu flies about with a giant camera, which is another thing to be worried about.
Yeah, that's a GDPR nightmare to begin with.
You think drones are bad?
How about a flying cameraman? Full sentience, he knows what he's doing. The drone is controlled. It's like getting into Bioshock territory. A drone obeys. Anyway, a weird side tangent aside.
Yeah, that was a
I think only in certain areas. You know, there'll be like coverage zones. I mean, he only appears in Mario Kart, does he not? Or is he in 64? Oh, well, he is in 64.
Yeah, he's in other
cameraman.
games.
Yeah,
he's in other games. He fishes and he's having his time off in Odyssey. But yeah, I just wondered like what his coverage is like, or is it just the races he works for? Like, maybe he just works for them. I don't know. I'm just curious because I'm invested in this idea of what Mushroom Kingdom kind of needs, I think, is what I'm realising now in all the kingdoms. It's just like some railings just round the outside of them. Because I really don't like the idea of there not being any railings in Mario. There's a lot of long distance drops in Mario. There should be more railings. Not to put on my high-vis jacket and get a clipboard out, but it does feel like there's a lot of health and safety issues being ignored. I get it's a dangerous world to live in, but you're making it harder.
You're not making it any easier, you lads. Come on.
Like those guys, the musicians in New Donk City, just stand on the end of skyscrapers. That's not great.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Thank you.
I mean, it's like even at the top of the skyscraper when they're all partying, going, woo, go Mayor Pauline, and they're hanging off the edge. I feel like there's a social commentary in there somewhere. The health and safety. And again, I'm not talking about Bowser's hellscape.
Yeah, that's an active Bowser. You can't prevent those things.
Yeah, and again, the insurance people would go absolutely haywire. But here's the thing as well. Do you think insurance is different for, let's say you're out for a pint of milk or something, and then you get mugged by, I don't know, a Koopa or a couple of Goombas, right? And, you know, the sky camera is just filming the whole thing, just silently, Nightcrawler style, just filming the whole thing. And you're getting the you-know-what beat out of you and everything. How different would it be if the same thing happened, but you were on a Mario Kart course? Or on the golf course? You know, is there different rules to that?
There's definitely a bit of that. You know, when you see like the dystopian movies and there's always violent sports, I feel like there's a bit of that. I feel like the normal world probably does have rules, laws and stuff, but then Mario Kart is just a law unto itself. You're allowed to blow people up and push them off of buildings and stuff. That's just part of the game by that point.
Do you think conspiracy theories would be rampant in this world? And what I mean by this, right, bear with me here, what I mean by this is you see Mario on a constant basis, and I know logically in the games, these are spin-off games, that's why they don't count, blah, blah, blah. But if we're taking this for facts, can you imagine you're sitting there having your morning cup of coffee, reading the newspaper, Mario has thwarted Bowser for the umpteenth time on the moon for some reason, don't know why, hell yeah. And then all of a sudden you see in the next page that he's away to golf with him, and it's like, you know, eyebrows would be raised. I mean,
I do think there's a class war incoming. It's definitely the 1% versus the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Toad
like,
marks.
Yeah. There's definitely like a...
Oh, sorry. I should have said Koopa marks. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
If you're part of the in crowd, you can't do anything wrong. You know, Bowser never ends up in any trouble. He's out playing golf the next week. He's out taking over the world again for the umpteenth time. I think there would eventually be an uprising. I thought when you say conspiracy theory, you're going to be like, the Earth isn't round, it's made up of 50 different worlds, and the only way to travel between them is by a giant hat.
Please, Martin, this is a very serious topic. Come on.
Because the thing is, it's not a conspiracy. Bowser and the various bad guys do just get off with this stuff scot-free, and they do get to continue.
I mean, Yoshi doesn't pay his taxes either.
True. That's the whole thing.
It's like reading the news being like, he can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah, like last time they came to town, he put out this giant millipede, it blew up my car, and I had to pay the insurance, my taxi got destroyed. Mario was jumping all over it. I lost my power moon that I'd had secret in my back garden, but it was all for nothing because he's out the next day. Mario gets unpunished despite all the havoc. He was jumping all over people. There is definitely a rules for me and not for thee.
Oh, 110% for that. Because the thing is, it's a world without justice, isn't it? You know, because don't get me wrong, you get Mario, you know, defeats the villain, blah, blah, blah. But it's a full circle, isn't it?
Yeah, no one's getting re-educated either. He's just coming back just as angry next time.
Yeah, exactly. You go from Super Mario Sunshine, where he tries to blow up a resort, Isle Delfino, and then he goes from that to blowing up the Mushroom Kingdom and taking his waifu to space. And can we just talk about the fact that, and we were talking about this the other day, but the fact that Bowser is just a massive weep that doesn't respect boundaries. I find it very, very concerning about this, and it wasn't until I replayed Odyssey where he's got a massive castle that is obviously based on the samurai and things, and I know why that is, but it's quite concerning. I'm not going to lie. A massive weep that doesn't respect social norms. What is going on there?
Again, and he's like a king of the Koopas. Like, it's just a dangerous thing for everyone, really.
He's got a good thing going for him. That's the thing. And he's thrown it all away just to be the creep. The Mushroom Kingdom.
There's a lot of unelected officials in general, actually, here. So we've got King Babom, King Boo, King Bowser, Princess Peach.
Sorry, can I just say the turnover rate for King Babom must be like so fast. They must have a coronation every other week.
But really, the only person I can think of actually elected is my goat Pauline. Is it everyone else? Monarchy?
I feel like this is one of these podcast episodes where it's like elect Mayor Pauline for
I mean, obviously
president of the
that's where
Mushroom
this is
Kingdom.
going, yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking, there's not any queens that I can think of.
Yeah.
So you're either a king or a princess.
This is like a very Disney thing though, isn't
Yes.
it? Where this is something that, I can't remember who it was, but someone else brought this up in another review, and it was really fascinating that when you think of a queen, you think of someone that's older, distinguished, whereas princesses are usually the pretty ones, they're younger, and all of this. And I think that's what's going on, but clearly she doesn't have a dad in this game, or rather this world. So, in fact, she doesn't have a mum or a dad as far as I know, or as far as we know. So, by all means, she should be a queen. I know the logistically why behind the scenes, but we're living under a monarchy who refuses to step up. It's a bit concerning.
Like I said, there's only one, I only know of one elected official.
I mean, other than the minor mayors that you get in other worlds.
That's
and even,
true, yeah. Actually, they do have quite, because there's a mayor in Delfina Plaza and stuff. There's a
so,
couple,
yeah.
actually. I'll take that back. There's a few people. But it's just a weird system of government. That's all I'm saying.
Would you be happy living in this world?
I don't think so.
No.
Mainly because, well, here's the line, okay? Either we turn up in the Mushroom Kingdom and we immediately have to go somewhere else and that's it, and I am unhappy. Or we turn up in the Mushroom Kingdom and it just so happens one of the 1% is walking by and we tag along and get to play golf with them. If we're on that side of the coin, if we're the exploiters, not the exploited.
Are you thinking of Mean Girls?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, mine says we wear dungarees. I mean, I see where you're coming from. Again, it's like that very cliquey thing of, oh, don't worry about the Goombas and the Koopas and whatnot, or the Toads, just hang out with us. Yeah, that would be a rip-roaring time, but then again, as you said, you'd be throwing Mayor Pauline and her social ideals under the bus.
Mayor Pauline is definitely part of the 1% as well. She's the only one in New Donk set that has a change of clothes, you know what I mean? Like, she's just as corrupt as the rest of them.
I mean, I do love the fact that all the salary men and women are just like, goodness, why didn't I think of that? I changed my clothes.
I've only got 50 identical suits.
But that's the thing, though. It's like they all dress the same, very uniform, very thingy. It's quite concerning, actually. It's no way to
Now
live.
they're picking it up. Yeah.
Can you imagine you had to get somewhere? Again, maybe this is D&D logic, but if you had to go somewhere through a portal, I'm just realising that a lot of them are locked in the castle. So the monarchy literally control the means of travelling around and things.
You have to collect so many stars before you can use a lot of them as well.
Exactly. How are you going to collect stars, though? As we established, getting coins is no problem. You just punch the hell out of a couple of bricks, but...
My standing jump isn't that great. Compared to Mario can jump multiple times his own height to get these stars. I'm going to be taking a long time to get a lot of stuff.
I mean, what would you do genuinely if you're walking along, you just want your groceries or whatever, you've had a really bad day, and then a 3-foot plumber jumps on your head? What would you do in that situation, Martin?
I don't think there's much you can do. I think it's take what you want, Mario, you absolute lunatic, leave me alone. Yeah, it's an unjust world. I think you summed it up. I think if Mario's mugging you, who's going to stop him?
I mean, it's a bit like, this is quite a scary thing as well, going back to the Cappy thing, because I'm thinking of when you're in New Donk City, right, and there's a guy who's controlling a RC car, and you have to control it and get it to the finish line and whatnot. Can you imagine you're minding your own business and then someone throws a hat on you and then you're no longer yourself, right? That's horrific enough. But when you throw throw your hat onto Bowser, you can see that he travels through all of his memories. So you telling me that every time he puts Cappy on someone, he's travelling into their memories?
What a way to get someone's pin.
When you're standing behind someone in the chair, put the hat
Take
on.
the hat on them, take all the money out. Identity theft, man.
Oh, identity theft would be rife in this.
Yep.
I mean, then again, I don't think if we came out in dungarees and colourful clothes, they would say, oh, look, it's Mario and Luigi. And we're like, hey, what's up? I'm Mario and Luigi. I don't think that would work somehow, but then again, there's barely any police presence. I mean, Bowser takes over the place constantly, so there's not really a standing army either. Ironically enough, the most as far as I know anyway, I could be wrong in this, but the most policed place in Mario as a whole is probably Isle Delfino.
Yep.
That's so weird. Like, I mean, they technically have the Toad army, but what are they going to do? You know, like, genuinely, they got absolutely sucker punched by Bowser and his cronies, so yeah, no way an Italian plumber can stop him. So, like, speaking of identity theft, what would you do if you turn around and all of a sudden you've got Wah Martin or I've got Wah Tsunami? You know, again, it would just be annoying because they're just out there to mess with you.
My number one hater.
Yeah, they're not even there to, you know...
They're not living their own lives, they're just living trying to, like, annoy you.
Yeah, they're not there to, as you said, to live their own lives and everything. They're there to purposely mess your days up. So it's like you're out wrestling and then all of a sudden all you hear is, wah, boo! You call that a suplex, wah! You know, you would be annoyed very fast. And again, they're the kind of people that would make mouth noises on the microphone. Or eat during a recording, genuinely.
Somehow get the URLs to every one of your sessions. Just popping into your chat rooms and popping into your Discord. Everyone's just like, hello, blah. It's like, oh no, don't start talking over every single one of your episodes.
You just be like, oh, for God's sake. It's like, this is ridiculous. Again, the other thing, and this might sound quite morbid, is there'd be a lot of penguins on Edge. And you know where I'm going with this at Mario 64?
On Edge was definitely a good term for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, with the amount of people who threw that penguin, and I'm calling you out, listeners, you know who you are. The amount of people who would throw the penguins off a cliff. And don't get me wrong, they respawn or there's magic or something that will bring them back. But you would constantly be on edge. You know, Mario just glaring in the corner, like, or do you know what would be the worst thing though? See if you had to get to work, but you know, your usual road was closed, and then the only way to get there was a very precarious jump, but you had to go there by Yoshi. Would you take that trip?
I don't even think we've got time to dig into the whole situation with Yoshi's in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta get to work, man. It's as simple as that. We gotta make money to live in New Donk City and to maybe afford a new outfit. So, yep, we have to take that jump. It's the corporate life.
I've got bills to pay. Actually, no, you bring up an amazing point there, sorry. When you said that New Donk City and Co, they don't have a change of clothes. They have that Cappy store. So Mario can get...
It's only in Mario's sizes.
Yeah, but Mario can get down and naked.
Yeah, because all clothes are only made for Mario-shaped people.
Can I just point something out as well? And this is something I've been thinking about for the longest time. Bowser must have one hell of a tailor, right? Okay, because, you know, he has his wedding suit, he has the hat, that's all fair and good. But then you look at Princess Peach, and this is for the film, for the games and things, where, you know, when she gets kidnapped and she's got the dress and everything, and she's got this beautiful, elegant wedding dress and things on. Who designed that? Because clearly she didn't pack it herself. Does he just have a Koopa in the background? Like,
he must do. There's just like multi-talented Koopas.
Or do you think there's a New Donk citizen there, defection, being like, you know what, I can't take another day in this 9-to-5 hell. I'm gonna get out of here.
I need to live on Bowser's airship for a bit.
It's called a gap year, Martin.
I'm taking my gap year to the Sand Kingdom.
Oh, how insufferable would that be? You get that one guy who said, oh, so I took my gap year in the Mushroom Kingdom. You wouldn't know it. I slept outside because there was no houses. I mean, I'm so glad that I don't live in this small town of Sand Kingdom. It's just sandy for me. I don't know why I'm giving him the Glasgow Uni.
I was gonna say, I'm feeling awfully called out right now. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you know what I mean, though. It's like the most insufferable. I mean, you just wouldn't get it. Bowser's ship is just so much better than any other place. And you'd be like, yeah, but what about the fact he's causing horrific war crimes? He's got intergalactic conflicts going on here, and then he plays golf at the weekends. You just don't understand, you know.
Yeah,
He's
he
got a
does.
vision. He wants to marry the other monarch. What are you on about? This is like medieval policy making. Hashtag Mayor Pauling for office.
Yep, my goat.
I just want to point out that this is the closest Satsunami will ever be for a political episode. It's an interesting world.
You kind of asked the question to me,
Yeah.
so I guess I'll fire it back to kind of start wrapping up. Would you live here then?
Honestly, it's not the worst world.
No, that's
you
true.
know,
That's it. On the scale of other ones we've done.
I mean, I've been in the Dragon Ball universe. I'd die in that. Legends of Zelda, dead. Sonic, maybe dead if I keep getting attracted to all the natural disasters of that
Yeah.
world. Mario, I think I've got a better
That's true.
chance because, to be honest, death, and this is going to sound so morbid to end the episode, but death isn't really as big of a thing in Mario. You
That's
know, they
true.
all recover and they eat the mushroom and the one up and things. So, to summarise, I think
Yeah,
this is
it's
one of
probably the best one we've
it's the
had
best
so far.
one, but I have issues. I have severe issues, but
It's the best one, but we're starting the revolution from inside the house. We're starting this up.
and if you would like to join us at chatsunami.com.
Mariobles?
Le Mariobles, yeah. Do you hear the mushroom sing? Yes.
Do you hear the mushroom singing the song of Jump Up Superstar?
And on that note, Martin, thank you so much for joining me in this episode. So, before we wrap up, where can these lovely listeners at home find your content?
If you want to find my content, watching me navigate the wacky world of wrestling and being a jump up superstar, you can find me all across Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook over at Martin MacAlistair.
If you would like to check out more episodes from ourselves, as well as our past episodes on Mario Month, you can indeed check us out on our website, chatsunami.com, as well as all good podcast apps. I also want to thank our amazing Pandalorian patrons, Robotic Battle Toaster, Sonia, Ghostie, and Cryptic1991. Thank you so much for supporting the show. But if you would like access to exclusive episodes, behind the scenes content, bloopers, as well as our further thoughts on living in the Mushroom Kingdom, then you can indeed check us out on our Patreon page, patreon.com/Chatsunami. I also want to point out that this podcast is a member of the Podpack Collective. For more information, check us out on Twitter/X at Podpack Collect. But until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and most importantly, stay hydrated.